Welcome to Meg's Motorcycle Journey, where we explore the world on two wheels. This channel will follow me on my journey to become a better rider and explore my love of all things motorcycles. Hey guys, so when we planned to travel down to Florida, we planned to stop at Bike Week and then get on the A1A and ride down to the Keys. Now, as many of you know, if you've been following me on Instagram, we had some issues. Cameraman's bike had an issue when we were in Daytona. His clutch cable snapped. I just want to say thank you to everyone that tried to help. So many people tried to contact us, send me messages on Instagram, call me, email me. Thank you so much. I think we're going to get it taken care of, but unfortunately we couldn't get it taken care of in time for us to ride to the Keys. So we have rented Cameraman a bike, so he will be riding a Fat Boy, which I will show you guys in just a second. But we wanted to take you guys along on our trip. This is actually going to be a moto-boat camping trip. We are riding down on the A1A and we are doing what's called boat camping and staying in a boat in Key West. So we don't have hundreds of dollars of camping equipment and we are pretty ill prepared for this trip, but I figured you guys might get some entertainment in following us along. So let me take you out and show you the bike we rented for Cameraman. So my bike's here, and like I said, Cameraman's gonna be on this Fat Boy, and we are leaving out of Miami and heading to Key West. So stay tuned for what I'm sure will be an entertaining trip. So I'm not going to lie, it felt so good to get out and ride. We actually hadn't been able to do much riding in Daytona, both because Cameraman's clutch cable broke, but also because we had a lot of events to attend, and I was just so excited to actually get out there and ride. So this is downtown Miami, which was pretty neat. I generally am not a fan of city type riding, but riding on the A1A through Miami and South Beach was very cool. So we're in Miami right now. Cameraman's getting the GoPro set up. It's pretty windy, of course, and it's not very warm. It would normally be in the 80s. It's barely 70 degrees and winds at 20 to 25 miles an hour. So us going over these bridges should be entertaining. Was disappointed that it wasn't warmer. I was hoping to come down from Maryland and get to visit Florida and it would be sunny and warm. And this is my second Florida trip this year in which it was unseasonably cold, but it was still a nice time. I was very worried about the winds initially, but thankfully the winds actually died down throughout the day. And by the time that we were in the Keys, they weren't nearly as much of a concern. So that was actually very nice. And we did, as you can see, get some patches of sunshine. This was something that was a bucket list type thing for me. I have talked to a lot of people that have ridden the A1A in a car, in a convertible, and I just knew that it would be even more spectacular on a bike. So I was super excited about this, probably more excited than I was about Daytona. We initially did not plan to go moto-boat camping, but I had waited to book one night of lodging until we figured out exactly where and when we'd be in which locations. And on the way, or maybe the day before heading down there, Cameraman and I started talking about it because we had some friends that were going to ride the auto train down and join us for Bike Week and the A1A. and some of them ended up not being able to come. So we found the Moto-boat camping option, and we decided, what the heck, we're going to try it. We didn't have, as I mentioned, any gear. We didn't have anything to prepare us for this. Obviously, it's not the same as tent camping, but there's a lot of similar elements in that we didn't have a kitchen, so there was no place to cook food. We didn't have a shower. The bathrooms were very rudimentary. But and the lodging was certainly less than, say, an Airbnb, which is where we have generally been staying. There was essentially two small little cubby holes with sort of a bedroll. The cameraman said it reminded him of his rack when he was in the Navy on an aircraft carrier. So I am not the biggest camping girl. I will do it for a night or two, but I don't like going an extended period of time without being able to take a hot shower. And I think because I'm somewhat of a girly girl and I really enjoy things like fashion and makeup, that long-term camping has never really been my thing. But I do love the water. I do love the beach. So I thought that this might be a type of camping that I could get behind. So I decided, what the heck, you only live once, and that I would give it a go. So I did not know what to expect, but was pretty excited about doing a bucket list ride and staying somewhere unique. So this is us riding through the city of Miami and past the port where there are the cruise ships, which was actually kind of a cool ride that I didn't expect. Like I said, typically don't love highway and city riding, but this was a really neat view for city riding, so I did enjoy that. I would say that the ride through downtown Miami and South Beach and then through the city was about 2 hours long because there were so many lights and there was a fair amount of traffic even in the middle of the day on a Monday. But once we sort of got past all of that and down to this portion of the ride in the Keys, it was smooth sailing. The views were amazing, as you'll get to see. Blue skies, plenty of water, lots of bridges, and we even got to ride through the sunset towards the end of our ride, which was completely breathtaking. I will say this, though. As beautiful as the ride was, and as much as I enjoyed the A1A and the ride through Florida, it's really straight, and I started to miss the hills and curves that we have here in Maryland. Cameraman and I were joking that there was like 3 curves in all of the drive from Miami to Key West, and truly there wasn't many more than that. It was a very long and very straight ride. So it's a good thing that there was so much beautiful scenery, because I think if it was somewhere else, I would not have been as entertained as I was on this ride. So I would certainly highly recommend it. I don't think I would do it every year, but I think doing it a few times in your lifetime is definitely worthwhile. So if you have the opportunity to ride it, I certainly would. It was very cool. There was a long stretch of just water and sky, which was pretty neat and not something that I get to do very frequently here in Maryland. So we're here in Key Largo. We're about 100 miles, a little less than 100 miles away from Key West, where we will be doing the boat camping. We got some super awesome footage, and we're excited to ride through the sunset in Key West. We ate here at Hobo's Cafe. It was delicious, great service. The food was amazing, and I can't wait to take you guys the rest of my journey. So this is us leaving Key Largo, heading to Key West. We had an absolute fantastic time eating at some of the local restaurants. You saw us at Hobo's on the way home. We don't have any footage of it, but we stopped at a barbecue place that was absolutely delicious. And that is one of my favorite things to do when I travel, is to try all the local restaurants and local small shops and other local attractions, because I've just had such great experiences with finding the greatest food and the greatest places to buy souvenirs when you stop at like a small local shop. So that was really fun. And cameraman and I have been talking about the fact that we would kind of like that to be some of the focus of our channel, because we want the channel to focus on us riding to really cool places, hanging out with our friends that ride, and experiencing life, because that's why I ride. So part of that is stopping at cool local shops and restaurants. Part of that is going to be us trying to see if we can stay in some unique places, visit some motorcycle specific things. For instance, we went to Bill's Bike Barn, and we plan to try to see some other motorcycle museums and motorcycle memorabilia things, as well as potentially some unique bike shops, some unique gear shops, things of that nature. So stay tuned, because I'm in the process of researching the best and coolest journeys to take you guys along on, and I think you'll really enjoy some of the places we have planned to go this summer. We also plan to go to a number of other bike weeks. We will be at Myrtle Beach, we will be at Gettysburg Bike Week, and we will be at Ocean City Bike Week. So we look forward to meeting a bunch more of you guys at all of those events. It will be our first time at all of those events. As some of you know, Gettysburg is in southern Pennsylvania, so really close to where we grew up in Carroll County, and we will just probably be going for day trips to Gettysburg, because we can ride there in less than an hour. And then Ocean City, Maryland has a bike fest in September. We plan to just ride down there for a couple of days. We may take you guys across the Bay Bridge, which is a really cool attraction that we have in Maryland. We may actually do that before Bike Week, because I just love riding to the Eastern Shore. But we will certainly be attending that local event, which will be very cool to meet a bunch of other bikers and people in the motorcycle community that live in the surrounding areas. Something else that we have planned for when it gets a little bit warmer is to do a couple of group rides. We want to do a lot of them in the Maryland area, but we may try to do a few that are a little bit farther away in either Pennsylvania or Virginia. And so if you guys are in the neighboring areas, please stay tuned and follow my Instagram page for information on group rides that we plan to take. I also want to thank you guys, because I've gotten some invites to go on some group rides, specifically some charity rides, which I'm really excited to do. A couple of you invited me to some charity rides involving veteran organizations, which we're happy to do. As I mentioned, cameraman's a Navy vet, and we do a lot with that in our car wash business. We're very focused on doing things like a program called Grace for Vets, where we wash veterans' cars on Veterans Day and other initiatives of that type. So we are happy to attend these events, and I greatly appreciate the invitations that so many of you have extended to us. So I am really looking forward to that. I'm also really looking forward to the opportunity to ride in warm weather again. I forgot how much I enjoy not having to have so many layers on. I know that you guys are going to probably yell at me about gear, although I think I'm sufficiently covered. But just not having to have a heated vest, a thermal layer, a sweatshirt, a jacket makes all the difference in the world. So I just want to say that I am incredibly jealous of those of you that live in a warm climate where you are able to ride year round. And before everyone says that I should move, that's not really an option for me, because as an attorney, I am only licensed to practice law in states where I'm barred, and unlike some other professions, that licensure does not cross over into other states. There are a couple of states that have what's called reciprocity with other states, where you can be barred in one state and practice in another, but not very many of them. There's a few states that you have the ability to waive in without taking another bar exam. But for the most part, you are required to take another bar exam to be licensed in another state. And frankly, that's not something that I'm interested in doing ever. So I will probably have to remain in the Maryland and DC area, the two places that I am licensed to practice law, for the remainder of my legal career. So we are almost to Key West, to the boat. You can see the sunset was absolutely beautiful. This is some of my favorite footage that we have ever been able to get riding. Like I said, I would have enjoyed it if it was a bit warmer, but there is absolutely no better way to see and explore things like this than from the seat of a motorcycle, and it just made me fall in love with riding on two wheels all over again. I think you guys will be really entertained by the boat footage that's coming up. So we've learned an important lesson, and that is that if you're going to go moto-boat camping, that you should arrive during the daytime, because we're now going to have to kayak out to the boat. So stay tuned.
Now I am.
Okay.
What you got there?
Got a dinner and some drinks, and we're headed out to the boat.
We gotta wait till I get in my kayak.
Hold on, how are you going to do that? You're not going to be able to record. I'm fine. I'm good. Okay.
Lesson number 2 was what? Don't wear
Lesson
your
number
leathers.
2 was don't wear your leathers in the kayak to get to the boat. All right. Well, we're here. We made it to the boat for boat camping. Tomorrow we'll be able to give you guys a little bit better view of the scenery in Key West. But for tonight, we made it, and we'll be back live in the morning. So that was a pretty rough night, but it's beautiful right now. Hey guys, so last night we told you that it was dark and it was tough to see, but we were here in Key West to go boat camping. So if you couldn't tell last night, we had to get here in these kayaks. So we parked bikes over there on the shore, on the dock, and we kayaked over here to the boat and stayed out here for the evening. It was kind of a rough night. There's little sort of cubby holes for beds. So unfortunately, it was incredibly windy and you can't make out what I was saying. Not that all of you listen to what I'm saying all the time anyway. Half of you probably don't pay too much attention to what I'm saying. But unfortunately, the direction of the camera makes a huge difference in the wind, which is a new lesson that we learned. Some drinks, but it was well worth it because we come to this, and it is absolutely beautiful. So this is one of the real reasons that I wanted to ride my bike and tour on my bike is I wanted to see as many places as I can see and do as many things as I can do. So this was a really cool experience. I think you guys will really like the footage that we took riding down the A1A. Super cool. I think there's something like 40 bridges. There's a 7-mile bridge. So we've got footage from all of that. And I'm not going to lie, Daytona was rough this year, but this made it worth it. So definitely, if you have an opportunity, check it out. It was too windy to hear what I'm saying. I'm talking about the weather and telling you that it's in the mid-70s, which was the warmest day that we'd had so far, that there's a lot of planes, so it's pretty loud. Here you're going to see me acting a little goofy. One of my things is doing handstands and gymnastics wherever I go. It's always been my thing since I was a kid. Cameraman knows this and eggs me on. So he told me to do a handstand. I didn't know if it was the safest place to do a handstand. A headstand's a little bit more stable, so you can enjoy some of my antics. So this is us headed back, leaving our boat camping adventure to go back to Miami and then Daytona, where our trailer was. It was still, as you could tell, a very windy day and not as warm as I would like, but it was far nicer than anything I've been able to ride in since about October in Maryland. So I was still very much enjoying myself. As I mentioned, we stopped at a local barbecue place that was delicious. Unfortunately, we forgot to take any footage from it, so I wish I could show you that, but I won't be able to. This was by far the highlight of our trip to Florida for Bike Week. I did enjoy parts of Bike Week. We did have, though, a lot of issues, as you guys know, and I didn't get to ride, and riding is really what I love. So I'm going to give some additional rallies a chance and see how I feel about them. I also know that they're a good opportunity to meet people within the bike community. I get excited to meet folks that I've met online in person because it's really cool to see how someone is after you've talked to them a bit online. And I mean both subscribers and, for instance, or people that work at different organizations like Chromeworks. It was really neat to be able to meet some of those folks. So there were definitely some highlights of Daytona. But the reason I started this channel is because I love to ride. And so this was the part of the trip that I got to ride the most. So because of that, this was definitely my favorite. And I'm really looking forward to the summer and some additional trips where we will get to ride different cool places and we'll get to bring you along. So some of our upcoming videos are going to include me learning how to change my oil. I'm sure for those of you that enjoy or have enjoyed my install videos, that my oil change video will be equally entertaining because we all know how completely clueless I am when it comes to anything like that. Additionally, I hear that there have been some issues with my merch page, with my Teespring page. I'm going to work on fixing that. I'm also going to work on posting a couple listings on Etsy for those of you that would like to purchase something. And finally, I'm considering doing an auction of my last few calendars and donating at least half the proceeds to a charity, perhaps a veteran charity. So stay tuned and I will provide some additional details for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of us on our moto camping trip. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, ride safe.